Hello and welcome to my scene depiction audio essay. I'm your host Riley Wilkins and thank you for joining me on this journey today. What you just heard before you might have just sounded like an off-brand Justin Bieber singing a pop song, but it was actually a soundscape from Glamor Nails Spa, right here in downtown Lexington. In this podcast, I will talk about the culture of the nail salon, and we will hear from a few of our peers on their take of the salon as well. If you happen to find yourself in downtown Lexington, you might stumble across a corner with a bright red cover, and this would be the Glamor Nails Spa. With windows facing Triangle Park, the salon gives its customers a view of the fountain and the city life going on outside. As soon as you walk in, you're greeted by a colorful wall of assorted polishes to choose from. The space is welcoming and the staff is kind and easy to get along with. There's pop music playing loudly, and the soft buzz of nail tools distract you from everything going on around you. Just like each person who comes in, each set of nails is different as well. When you sit down in the big padded chairs, you can take an hour and relax and not worry about anything but your nails. While the city of Lexington rushes on around you, the Glamor Nails Spa allows you to just relax. I interviewed two of my peers to get a point of view on the salon from someone aside from just myself. These interviews give us more depth to look at the pros and cons of the salon and reasons as to why they continue to visit, along with their overall takes on the culture of the space. The first person I interviewed on the culture of the space is a peer of mine, Ava Lucas, a sophomore here at UK and a frequent customer of the nail salon. After lots of awkward laughs and lots more explaining of what I'm interviewing her on, Ava explained a little bit more about her experiences at the salon. Ava said, quote, "Oh, okay, well the nail salon is huge, like the biggest I've ever been in. So it's not like you're squished into the right next to the person next to you. And for the mood, I don't know, it kind of depends on if it's busy or not when you go. If it's not busy, it's pretty relaxed and quiet. But if you go when it is busy, it's a lot louder and you can tell the employees are rushed. I guess it really depends on the time you go, though." End quote. Her take on the culture of the space is that it's generally relaxed depending on the time of day or week. She expresses the comfort of the salon by talking about the chairs and the space between customers. The spacious environment makes it easier to relax for customers. When asked on how she's observed customer-to-customer interactions, Ava said, quote, "I mean, it's pretty much the same as all the salons I've been to. You only talk to your friends, and then there's always a compliment on the nails or something like that from a stranger." End quote. Whereas the space and the culture of the nail salon is different. The interactions between people are pretty much the same as other salons that Ava has been to. The second interview I did was on Gina Richards, a freshman at UK. She has also been to the salon several times and had a little bit of a different take on the salon than Ava did. Hello, Gina, and thank you for joining us today.
Yeah, no problem.
So I'm just going to ask you a couple of questions to try and get your take on the overall culture of the salon. For starters, how often do you think you go to the salon?
I mean, not as often as you, but I've been maybe 3 times.
Okay, fair. And why did you go back after the first time? Was it different than other nail salons you've been to?
Well, it was close to the campus, and someone from my sorority recommended it, so I tried it out. And I liked the nails, so I went back.
I feel like they do a really good job, but otherwise, are there any flaws to the salon?
Well, it's always pretty busy, so you have to make an appointment, but that just kind of shows that they're good, right? And it's a little bit more expensive than the salons back home. But I'm kind of just too lazy to find a new salon.
That's fair. What's one thing that stands out to you about the salon, or one thing that you really like about it?
Well, it's huge. Like one of the biggest nail places I've ever been in. And the chairs are these huge puffy chairs that are nice to sit in. But most of all, they're really, really fast if you have an appointment. Like in and out in 45 minutes, when usually it takes an hour to a half an hour.
Could you elaborate on what you mean by, like, having an appointment versus not having an appointment?
Well, usually they're really busy, like I said before. So if you don't have an appointment and just walk in, you could be waiting like up to an hour or get in right away, depending on what time of the day or week you go.
Oh, well, we don't have the time of day for that, sis. So last question I have for you is the most confusing one. If you had to describe the culture of the nail salon, how would you describe it and why?
What?
Okay, for, like, example, I would say I think it's relaxing and, like, kind of a carefree space.
Yeah, well, I would agree with that. I would say that it's carefree, though not relaxing because it's not quiet or anything. But you also don't really have any worries about doing other stuff while you're there. You can just sit there and get your nails done. And when I think of relaxing, I think of a quiet space, but also it's not like you have to do anything but hold your hands out. So it's carefree, I guess.
Okay, well, perfect. Thank you so much.
Yeah, of course.
Gina's interview was a little bit more in depth, as she described that she thought the space wasn't relaxed but more carefree. Relaxed, in her opinion, means quiet and peaceful, more of a meditation type of thing, whereas the nail salon is a place where you don't have to worry about anything, but it also isn't relaxing. Gina thinks that carefree is a more accurate word for the salon because you don't have to think about anything but your hands, but it's also not quite relaxing either. From both of these interviews, I gathered that the general culture of the Glamor Nails and Spa is a carefree environment where the women of Lexington can gather to pamper themselves. One critique that the interviewees had for the salon was the long waits that the customers have to deal with. But there's not much that we can do from the outside. Ava thought that the space was relaxing and a good stress reliever, but didn't notice anything special about the customer-to-customer interactions. Whereas Gina, on the other hand, thought that it wasn't relaxing, but it was in fact carefree. Though the two had contrasting views, they both thought that the nail salon was huge in comparison to other salons, and that the waiting without an appointment was less than ideal. I agree with both of the interviewees on their takes of the salon. Though I came into it thinking that the culture of the space was relaxed, I changed my mind after talking to Gina, and agreed that it was less of a relaxed and more of a carefree space, agreeing with her point that to be relaxed, it has to be relatively quiet. Glamor Nails and Spa is a carefree space for women to take time out of their day to pamper themselves. Thank you for joining me on this journey today. This is Riley, signing off.